Hi guys, Yanni here. I'm with Richard, one of our lead trainers, and today we're going to be demonstrating a fantastic exercise. This is the seated dumbbell external rotation. It's specifically targeting the external rotators in the shoulder, which are a major part of your rotator cuff. That's the infraspinatus and teres minor. And these guys have a super hard job, tough job. They've got a tough life, let's be real. They're trying to offset the internal rotation on the humerus or the arm, and that's especially during pressing movements. So effectively, these little guys have got to battle your big chest, lats, and biceps. And that, man, is a really tough job, especially if you're like me with a chest like this. Just joking. So what we're going to do here, first of all, really this exercise is for anyone who has suffered shoulder pain before or shoulder injury, or anyone who wants to increase bench strength. Because here's the thing, your nervous system will prevent strength improvements if there's a structural imbalance between these muscles with your chest. There's a universal sort of code of conduct in strength and conditioning where we have to keep these guys in check or in balance with the pressing muscles. So really, if you're not doing external rotation and your goal is to get a big bench press or overhead press, then you're dreaming. You have to include this into your programming. The way we use this is as a conditioning program, as a conditioning exercise in our FMS or Foundation Movement System program. We use it for new members, but also every once in a while as a supplementary movement to complement all of the bench pressing that we do and overhead pressing that we do, and also handstands and all of that. So it's really only one way of working the rotator cuff. There's many ways to work the rotator cuff that are all very important, but this one's isolating that external rotation movement. So I'm going to get Richard to demonstrate a few reps here. He's got a 3 kilo weight, and this is one of those exercises, guys, that you've got to check your ego at the door. Most people, it should be around about 10% of your bench press for a 1RM. What's Tony Battaglio suggests these days? It's 15% even now of your 1RM chest press with dumbbells. So if you can press 50 kilos in each hand, then it should be 15% of 50 kilos that you've got in one hand here, which is quite a lot of weight. So you guys make sure that you start light and slowly work up, because the reality is that you'll notice with Richard here, all he's doing is rotating the humerus, which is the upper arm bone in his shoulder. There's no other part of his body that's moving. The second something else moves, because of the nature of the muscles here, they're very, very small, and chances are they're going to ask the rest of the body for help. Now, usually we don't isolate movements so much at Unity Gym because we like to work in a holistic way with big compound movements. But when there's an imbalance or there's a reason to condition the body, then we have to work in that isolation. And it's super important with this movement that you do get it isolated. If you don't, then chances are all these other systems in the body that are already too strong for your rotator cuff are going to be doing the primary movement or the initiation of the movement. So demonstrating again, Richard's going to do a few reps. He's got his elbow, the pointy part of his elbow, just move that up onto the VMO a tiny bit more. So you want that pointy part of the elbow right on the big muscly part of your VMO. That'll give it a good little platform to sit on. And there is an element of contraction running through his back here. He's got his scapula squeezed back together. He's sitting upright. He's got really good posture in the lower back. He could not do this movement properly if he was slouching. So guys, if you've got really tight hamstrings, first of all, stretch your bloody hamstrings for once and for all. If you can't, then I would say lift the bench up on a very low incline, 10 or 15 degrees, to cancel out the requirement for hamstring mobility. But otherwise, Richard's got great flexibility, so he's sitting up nice and straight. This works best around 8 reps, 8 to 10 repetitions. The muscles like to fire and then switch off, then fire and then switch off. They often don't stay on for very long. They'll fatigue quite quickly. They're predominantly fast twitch muscles, meaning that they fatigue after only a few repetitions. Guys, make sure you include the seated dumbbell external rotation into your program. The risks you don't are severe and debilitating shoulder injuries and a very mediocre bench press. Hope you enjoyed that.